Hi, let's get started creating your first Game Boy game with GBDK. GBDK is the Game Boy Development Kit, and it's a homebrew software development kit, or SDK, that includes a large amount of tools that will help you easily create files that can be run on either a real Game Boy Color, or an emulator. The 2020 release is an ongoing effort to fix deprecated code and revive a project that began at the turn of the century. This quick start guide is intended to give a thorough tutorial on how to set up GBDK and get your first project going. We're going to be working in the C programming language, but GBDK also supports proper assembly language to run on original hardware or your emulator. First, we need to go and download GBDK. So, we can go to the GitHub page for GBDK 2020, and they have tags where you can download the most current release for whatever platform you're on, or you can clone it if you're into that. So we can go ahead and download the zip file, and I'm on Windows for my build. Additionally, we're going to want an IDE or some kind of text editor to work on our actual program. For this quick start guide, I'll be using Visual Studio, and I recommend it for you as well. So, we've downloaded GBDK on whatever platform we have. In my case, I'm going to place this inside of my C drive at root, just because it's easiest to address, because we need to, in our project, show our project where GBDK's files actually are. So you can see I've already done that, and it's just on my C drive, and if we unzip it, it'll all be ready for us to use. Right, so now we can go into our editor and we just create a blank solution. And there's nothing here, no files. And we want to create two files to test that our GBDK install is properly set up. So we will be creating a C file. And if you're not familiar with C as a programming language, I highly recommend that you go and play around with it a little bit before you continue working with GBDK. But let's go ahead and create the C file, and we're just going to call it main.c. So we have our main.c, and we're going to get GBDK into our project. So we have some libraries that we're going to get. And the first one is going to be GBDK itself. So if we do gb/gb.h for the GBDK header, and then we're also going to need standard IO. Next, we're going to create our main function, and it's going to be the typical printf hello world. And the great thing about GBDK is that it's able to interpret all of these commands that you are really familiar with and compile them to work for the Game Boy itself. And that's really cool, but unfortunately we do need to do a little bit of black magic to get it all working. So we need to go ahead and create our second file. We'll save main.c and create our second file, make.bat. Okay. So this make file will contain all of the instructions that we're going to need to tell GBDK what to look for and what to compile to create our .gb file. And if you're familiar with Game Boy emulation or anything like that, .gb is the actual file itself that we want to be putting on our cartridge or into our emulator to run our Game Boy game. So I'm going to be copying and pasting stuff, but I'll explain exactly what it does. So it's a 2-line file, and we'll go ahead and save it. But what we're going to really focus on is our path here. So at the beginning, when we downloaded GBDK, I put it in C, and then we want to specifically get inside of our bin folder the lcc.executable. We have a bunch of compiler flags. And up to here, we don't have to worry about that. But if you name to your file anything other than main.c, that's important. So we're taking our main.c, turning it into a main.o, and taking that main.o and turning it into a main.gb. So hopefully you're able to configure this to what works for you if you put it somewhere else, GBDK that is, and we save it. And now if we go to view terminal, we open up a terminal and we can go and compile our Game Boy game. So in the essence of time, I went ahead and navigated to where this project is, and if I type dir, we can see our main.c and our make.bat. Now we just need to run make.bat to compile it with GBDK. So make.bat. So we had a whole bunch of files created, and you notice that one of them is called main.gb. So the exact file that we're looking for, and this is a file we can run on an emulator. So one of the emulators that I highly recommend is BGB, because there's a lot of resources that allow you to actually look at the state of memory and how your Game Boy game is running. So if we download BGB, we can open it up and run bgb.exe here. And this is what it'll look like with no file running on it. So we have our main.gb, and if we open that up, go to a file explorer, the easiest way to do this is to literally just drag the file in. And there we have it. Hello world. So there's a lot more that you can do with GBDK. And, you know, this is just a test to get you up and running. In the description, I'll have a bunch of links with further tutorials on how to really utilize all the tools that GBDK has available. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this has helped you get GBDK up and running.